On behalf of the Staff Development Center, it is my great pleasure to formally welcome you to this award ceremony. I note with gratitude the presence of our Vice-Chancellor, Senior Professor Chandrika N Wijeyaratne. I also acknowledge the presence of the Vice-Chancellors and heads of institutions of several other seats of higher learning in this country, including the University of Jaffna, the Southeastern University, and the University of Moratuwa, as well as deans of faculties, directors of institutes, heads of departments, resource persons of the course, the registrar, Mr. Edward, the bursar, Mrs. Jayasuriya, and the librarian, Dr. Vijayatunga. I welcome all those colleagues from the CTHE 22 batch, whose efforts have not only given me personal cause to be happy, but have maintained the reputation of the SDC as a center of higher education excellence. This event, as well as the CTHE course of 2019, marks several firsts. It's the first time we have held an award ceremony virtually. However, it has given many the opportunity to participate, which they could not have had if this event was held physically. Delivery and completion of the course itself was challenged several times, first due to the Easter bombings, and then by the lockdown, which fell on the very day that resubmissions were due. However, the fact that we went online with portfolio submissions enabled us to receive the results even earlier than before and conduct the ceremony 2 weeks earlier than we did last year. It teaches us that adversity brings with it the opportunity to improve ourselves and our processes. This year, we will also see the first ever Dr. Chandrika N Wijeyaratne Award for the Best Performing Academic being celebrated. Chandrika remained committed to the ideals of staff development to the very end. And I believe that the recipient, Mr. Chintaka Dharmakirti, did his institution, the University of Moratuwa, proud by displaying the same level of dedication and commitment, which resulted in this award. We also mark another first by having our certificates printed by our very own press, the Colombo University Press. Again, we were able to cut down on the time taken to process and print the certificates by having this facility in-house. Later on, you will receive instructions on how you can collect your certificates from the SDC. The CTHE 22 course, you will be happy to note, received an excellent review by the external examiner, Dr. Julie Hall. I am confident that the academics we train will continue to excel in their professional roles and improve the level of higher education teaching and learning in our country. I invite you to enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Now I would like to invite Mr. MGCC Dharmakirti, winner of the Dr. Chandrika N Wijeyaratne Award for the Best Performing Academic, to speak a few words. Over to you, Mr. Dharmakirti.
Good afternoon. I think you can hear me. Could you please confirm?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Today, within this limited time, I would like to share my experiences with CTHE at University of Colombo and how I changed myself and how I still using these practices into my teaching career. First come first, I would like to ask you, do you remember our teaching philosophy, my friends? Don't worry, I know that you all remember that. I just wanted to bring you through that memory lane, right? Till you are walking through the memory lane, Colombo University Vice-Chancellor, Senior Professor Chandrika N Wijeyaratne, Vice-Chancellors and heads of institutions of awardees, Professor Nazima, Director SDC, and my dear friends, good afternoon to all of you. I still remember the very first day at CTHE, Professor Nazima asked us to write down our teaching philosophy. I was like, what? I know for sure majority of you were the same, but all of you were able to identify the importance of having a teaching philosophy, and we were guided to find out our philosophy through our values and goals. More than the philosophy, CTHE groomed me to present myself as a confident lecturer at the lecture room. Do you believe that I was not much confident on doing my lectures in front of another lecturer before I started CTHE actually? In our degree, we have lots of collaborative lectures and workshops. You know, you know that how it feels, right? When you were the newcomer and when you're doing collaborative lectures with a senior staff member of the faculty, apparently my contribution was nothing. There were thousands of things in my mind, but I wasn't knowing where to say, when to say that. more than everything, I wasn't confident on presenting myself as a lecturer in front of another senior staff member. During this time, likely or unlikely, I had to evaluate my lectures through peers for CTHE learning agreement implementations and evaluations. But surprisingly, the feedback wasn't bad as I thought. In such a way, I incorporated this feedback culture into my life through CTHE, which helped me to build a self-confident lecturer inside me. Not only direct teaching, learning, and assessment activities, considering ethical factors and like providing students a friendly and working friendly environment while being a teaching and learning facilitator was one of my tasks during the recent time period with this COVID-19 pandemic. Teaching in a digital space and learning in distance mode won't be easier, right? I heard people used to say that no doubt on that unless you are inside the box. But with the effect of learning gathered at CTHE, I was able to plan new teaching and learning activities aligned to the learning outcomes of the curricula while converting the impossibilities into possibilities through our identified opportunities. Right? Then this reminds me how I groomed through the different roles of a teacher with the aid of CTHE. I hope and I believe that all of you are doing the same, my friends. In conclusion, I would like to thank Team SDC, including the director, my mentor, Dr. Sunit Gokura, all our CTHE batchmates, especially including my seminar group F3 and my family. So let me to share the prestige of this award with you all, as you were a huge part of this collaborative achievement. I could say that this is a collaborative achievement. Then finally, let me to share this famous quote with you. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live like its whole life believing that it's it. Please never look at your students through blue-colored glasses. Thank you and stay safe. Thank you very much. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Dharmakirti. I now take great pleasure in inviting Senior Professor Chandrika Wijeyaratne, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Colombo, to address the gathering. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Kitmini, and I hope you can hear me. Rector, deans, directors, heads of departments, and particularly the director of, indefatigable director of the Staff Development Center for the Nazima Hamaddin and her team, and particularly those registrants who are from the University of Colombo, as well as those who are from other state universities and even some non-state universities. Welcome to the University of Colombo's first online award ceremony, which is the first indeed, and a very happy occasion, despite so much of anxiety, so much of ill health and fear of ill health happening in and around us. So, as was mentioned by Professor Nazima, the SDC and its commitment within the University of Colombo has been a very long-standing process, and I think today we are witnessing an event which has clearly paid rich dividends for all the efforts, and I thank the succession of directors and particularly Professor Nazima for taking this on, more or less at times Nazima single-handedly, but taking things on and making sure that we remained afloat. So I would like to congratulate the first ever winner, Chintaka, but I would have liked to have seen your face, Chintaka. Can we share your face with everyone?
Sorry, madam, I am traveling. I mean, actually, I came to the university and I am joining with my mobile phone.
Okay, right. So we'll see you on a later date. But many congratulations. And as Professor Nazima said, the lady who is being remembered is somebody special, and that itself is a great gesture for the Staff Development Center to remember their pioneers with gratitude. Now, while talking about teaching philosophies and all those other aspects, we are going through a very hard time, and actually we were, as a group of vice chancellors, requesting UGC to give us some clear directives as to how we can cope with today's new norm, which keeps changing as well. But to get back to the traditional teaching learning methodology that was highlighted by Chandrika himself, I would like to remind each and every one of us as what the great philosopher Aristotle said. I mean, the kinds of students who come from diverse backgrounds to our universities is unfathomable at times. And when I have had to take the initiative to meet up with some of the parents on occasions where things have gone wrong, I realized that the role of the teachers are so much more than just the classroom or the lecture hall or the practical class. And that is why we have this staff development led CTHE courses, which has been a norm of the UGC for the past couple of years. Now, what I noticed with great pride is that, like what Aristotle said, you all have taken on the task of being really nurturing and fashioning these future generations, just like parents or even beyond. And therefore, the fact that you all come from different fields but interact, have memories that will last forever, and particularly to take on that holistic role is something that goes beyond just some training course. And therefore, once again, many congratulations to each and every one of you, and also particularly to the SDC for having kept the flag flying, and I'm sure we can reach for the stars. Thank you and all the very best.
Thank you, Madam. We shall now commence the award ceremony. We begin with CTHE certificates. Professor Ranjan Hettiarachchi, Rector, Sripali Campus, will distribute a few certificates.
Can the screen be seen?
Yes, Madam, it can be seen.
Okay, we are in the wrong place. I will go back to the correct place.
Professor Ranjan Hettiarachchi, Rector, Sripali Campus, will distribute a few certificates. Ms. YKK Hettiarachchi, Ms. IR Malavige, Mr. BDMCS Wijetunga, Dr. AWADR Abesekara, Engineer KN Amaravardhana, Mr. RJ Amaraveera. Now, Senior Professor Premakumara De Silva, the Dean, Faculty of Arts, will distribute the next set of certificates. Mr. AUVB Bulat Sinhala, Mr. MGCC Dharmakirti, Mr. MHS Dilrukshi, Ms. DDASM Domingo, Ms. AN Fernando. Dr. LMK Bandara, Dean, Faculty of Education, will distribute the next set of certificates. Ms. CLIS Fonseca, Dr. PVKG Gunawardhana, Mr. APHS Jayaratne, Ms. J. Jekala, Ms. E.G. Jinasena. Senior Professor Naini Melagoda, the Dean, Faculty of Graduate Studies, will distribute the next set of certificates. Dr. HKPP Karyavasam, Mr. HPV MP Karunaratne, Ms. WHT Madhuhansi, Mr. WLS Madhuranga, Ms. IU Malavara Arachi. Professor W.I. Nanayakara, the Dean, Faculty of Law, will distribute the next set of certificates. Ms. WCU Nisansala, Dr. NAID Nisanka, Ms. VGP Pabasara, Dr. CGUA Hatabadiye, Dr. PPSL Patirana. Dr. MPP Dharmadasa, the Dean of the Faculty of Management and Finance, will distribute the next set of certificates. Dr. BHR Pushpananda, Mr. RDSB Rajapaksa, Ms. RLP Ramasinghe, Mr. NMM Safiq, Ms. IS Samarakon. Professor Vajira H.W. Disanayaka, the Dean Faculty of Medicine, will distribute the next set of certificates. Ms. N.C. Samarasiri, Ms. I.R. Samaratunga, Ms. A.C. Senanayaka, Ms. C.S. Thangaraja, Dr. H.N.D. Tilini. Dr. S.S.P. Varnakula Surya, the Dean Faculty of Nursing, will distribute the next set of certificates. Dr. T. Uday Sankar, Mr. R. Vijay Deepan, Ms. P.S.P.G. Vidanage, Dr. M.R. Vakumbura, Ms. N.T. Vanigasinghe. Professor Upul Sonnadara, the Dean Faculty of Science, will distribute the next set of certificates. Ms. T.P. Amalan, Ms. M.S. Fatima Sulaiha, Ms. A.R. Pereira, Ms. S.H. Sadiqa Farween, Ms. A.H.M.D.L. Abheratna. Professor J.K.D.S. Jayanthi, the Dean Faculty of Technology, will distribute the next set of certificates. Dr. M.Y. Amarasuriya, Ms. A.J.M.K.K. Aviruppala, Mr. S.A.C.L. Bandara, Ms. D.G.N.T. De Silva, Ms. S. Dayanarthi. Shiroma Handunetti, Director, IBM BB, will distribute the next set of certificates. Dr. H.W. Dilanti, Ms. T.R. Galapattige, Dr. D. Halvatura, Dr. L.A.H.G. Lianarachi, Ms. S. Maturanga. Professor K.P. Hewagamage, the Director, UCSC, will distribute the next set of certificates. Ms. W.A.R.P. Manike, Dr. R.N. Muhammad Jalaluddin, Ms. B.M. Munasinghe, Ms. A.L. Nanayakara, Ms. S. Puanita. Dr. P. Vijay Tunga, the librarian, will distribute the next set of certificates. Dr. S.S. Ranatunga, Ms. M.R.F. Rueha, Venerable Dr. M. Sugata Sirithero, Mr. K.A.N. Tilakaratne, Ms. S. Divya Shani. Now we will move on to the CEDA certificates. These will be handed over by Senior Professor Chandrika Wijeyaratne, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Colombo. Ms. T.P. Amalan, Ms. Y.K.K. Hettiarachi, Ms. I.R. Malavige, Ms. A.R. Pereira, Mr. B.D.M.C.S. Vijayatunga, Dr. A.W.A.D.R. Abesekara, Ms. A.H.M.D.L. Abheratna, Dr. M.Y. Amarasuriya, Engineer K.N. Amaravardhana, Mr. R.J. Amaravira, Ms. A.J.M.K.K. Aviruppala, Ms. S.A.C.L. Bandara, Mr. A.U.V.B. Bulat Sinhala, Ms. D.G.N.T. De Silva, Mr. M.G.C.C. Dharmakirti, Ms. S. Dayanarthi, Dr. H.W. Dilanti, Miss MHS Dilrukshi, Miss DDASM Domingo, Miss AN Fernando, Miss CLIS Fonseca, Miss TR Galapattige, Dr. PVKG Gunawardana, Dr. D Halwatura, Mr. APHS Jayaratne, Miss J Jekala, Miss EG Jinasena, Dr. HKPP Karyavasam, Mr. HVVMP Karunaratne, Dr. LAHG Lianarachi, Miss WHT Madhuhansi, Mr. WLS Madhuranga, Miss IU Malavararachi, Miss S Mathuranga, Miss WARP Manike, Dr. R.N. Muhammad Jalaluddin, Miss B.M. Munasinghe, Miss A.L. Nanayakara, Miss W.C.U. Nisansala, Dr. N.A.I.D. Nisanka, Miss V.G.P. Pabasara, Dr. C.G.U.A. Patabadiye, Dr. P.P.S.L. Patirana, Dr. B.H.R. Pushpananda, Miss S. Puanita, Miss S. Puanita, Mr. R.D.S.B. Rajapaksa, Miss R.L.P. Ramasinghe, Miss M.R.F. Ruwaiha, Mr. N.M.M. Safiq, Miss I.S. Samarakon, Miss N.C. Samarasiri, Miss I.R. Samaratunga, Miss A.C. Senanayaka, Venerable Dr. M. Sugata Sirithero, Miss C.S. Tangaraja, Mr. K.A.N. Tilakaratne, Dr. H.N.D. Tilini, Miss S. Divya Shani, Dr. T. Udayasankar, Mr. R. Vijay Deepan, Miss P.S.P.G. Vidanage, Dr. M.R. Vakkumbura, Miss N.T. Vanigasinghe. Next, I invite Professor Chandrika Wijeyaratne, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Colombo, to present the Dr. Chandrika N Award for the Best Performing Academic to Mr. MGCC Dharmakirti.
We could have a round of applause at this point, even virtual.
Thank you very much.
To formally conclude this evening's proceedings, I invite Ms. Indrachapa Veerasinghe of the SDC staff to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Staff Development Center, it's my great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks. As you know, the Staff Development Center functions under the direct supervision of the Vice-Chancellor, and we are very grateful to Senior Professor Chandrika N Wijeyaratne for her constant support and encouragement in all our activities. She has always made time to evaluate the progress of the activities of the SDC, and we would not have been able to carry out our work smoothly if not for her support. Madam, thank you very much indeed. I would be extremely thankful for Professor Nazima Kamaddin, the director of this SDC, who is the enormous strength behind all the success of this CTHG program, as well as the pioneering leader of this SDC. This SDC comes under the supervision of the Management Committee, whose membership includes deans, directors, and directors of institutes, as well as representatives of the council. I wish to thank all of them for their support and encouragement. My thanks also go out to Mr. Edward, the Registrar of the University, for his advice and support which helps us to run the administration of the SDC in accordance with the university policy. Mr. Edward has been instrumental in helping the SDC plan its activities, and we are thankful for his support. No institution can function without the proper regulation of its funds, and we are very grateful to Ms. Jayasuriya, the Bursar, for her support in this regard. Let me convey my thanks for the staff of the Vice-Chancellor's office for helping to coordinate the Vice-Chancellor's participation at our events. I am thankful to all the participants in CTHG 22nd batch for their participation in this event, even on an online platform. On behalf of the SDC, I appreciate the support given by Ms. Kitmini Avirapola for being the compere today. I'm also grateful to Mr. Vihanga Vidana Patirana, the photographer, who facilitated us in designing the virtual photographs of this event. I would also like to mention with gratitude the excellent job done by the Colombo University Press for printing the CTHG certificates of very high quality. Last but not least, a special word of thanks should go to our energetic office staff, including Ms. Hiroshini, Ms. Ayomi, Ms. Supipi, and Mr. Shami, who all work tirelessly, not just for this event, but to maintain the standards of excellence at the SDC. And we are very thankful for your support and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the CTHG Online Award Ceremony. I would like to inform the participants that certificates are available for collection from the SDC office. Please make a prior appointment and collect your certificates. Thank you very much for your participation. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I think that was one of the shortest award ceremonies that we ever had, but we covered everything. So as Champa said, the most important thing now for the participants, madam, would be to collect the certificates. They are ready physically so that you can, I know most of you may need it for purposes of your confirmation and for your other events. So please collect it at your leisure. Thank you very much for participating, and I hope that you are satisfied with this award ceremony. We have it recorded. We also have all those virtual photographs which you can use in lieu of the ordinary photographs you would have taken. So we hope you wouldn't have missed out on anything.